Mr. Ambassador, hello.
Good to see you again, Azad. Hello.
Same to you. Yes, happy to see you again. How are you today?
I am very good and so pleased to be with you.
Thank you. Let's start with very happy news. You have had a granddaughter.
Yes. Mrs. Klimow and I just celebrated 2 days or 3 days ago the birth of our second grandchild, another girl, Rose Elizabeth Klimow. And
Rose Elizabeth.
Yes, and we're just delighted. My son and his wife live in Arlington, Virginia, and we were just thrilled with the news.
It's the single name, Rose Elizabeth?
It's two names. Rose, the flower, which I think is the most beautiful of all flowers. Elizabeth is a family name and the name of her mother as well. And her older sister will be 2 years old next month. That's Anastasia Klimow. That's one word.
Beautiful names. Let God bless her and her parents.
Thank you. It's so kind of you. Thank you for asking.
Let us start with the building which is behind us.
Indeed.
When are you planning to open the new complex of embassy in Ashgabat?
Well, first let me thank you not only for this opportunity to talk to you and really to talk to the people of Turkmenistan, but to choose this setting, the Ashgabat International School, completed just 3 years ago. I think the gem of Ashgabat, but it overlooks what will be the new United States Embassy to Turkmenistan, just to my left. And our interview is really about the 30th anniversary of independence of Turkmenistan. And to me, this new embassy compound, which we will open next year, has tremendous symbolism. In diplomacy, symbols are part of our trade. We put supreme value on symbols. And the United States chose to build a new embassy in this city, to me, as a symbol of our future commitment to Turkmenistan. It's a symbol of our commitment. It's a symbol of our permanence here. It's a symbol of the investment the United States is making, not only now, but in the future in this country. And you could see it in tangible terms, because buildings, architecture, and we see the most beautiful architecture in the world in this city, they speak to values. And those three things, commitment, permanence, investment, those are the values that that embassy embodies when we talk about our future here in Turkmenistan.
Mm-hmm. The area of the complex is quite big. Can you tell what's included inside, except the main building? I see. Is there? I know.
Well, the main building is yet to be built. That's the chancery, and that's just fancy, flowery language for saying the main office building. We'll complete that probably in the next 4 years or so. But there are 12 buildings on this campus that are almost completed, and we'll put the finishing touches on this year. That includes residence for much of our staff, embassy staff, our warehouse, our motor pool, some administrative offices, support offices, a beautiful recreation center, a swimming pool, a tennis court, and a place where Turkmen people can come to meet, to use our library, to have meetings, and to interact with the embassy staff. The buildings that you see here that are almost complete were largely done by the hands of Turkmen citizens. The vast majority of workers on this project have been Turkmen citizens. And that's why I think it's a matter of pride, not only for America, but for our bilateral relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the building is really good, and the place is good. Yes.
I think this is the most beautiful setting. I'm looking at the Kopetdag Mountains here on my right. You could see the mountains as the sun rises in the morning. You could see the sunset. It's just a remarkable place.
Yes.
This is a beautiful place, the Ashgabat International School. It's a gem for Ashgabat. It really is.
Yes. But as I know, this school have no connection. It doesn't concern embassy, right?
We support the school as best we can. The school is run by Quality Schools International. And they build schools around the world, but only where the United States Department of State asks them to build a school, where we have an embassy, where there are children. A small fraction of the embassy children go to school here. The vast majority of people here are Turkmen citizens, about 2/3. But 1/3 of Ashgabat International School are foreign students, to include many Americans, students from other diplomatic missions, and from international corporations as well. So we're very proud of it.
Interesting. Yes, the school is really good. So what about the teachers in the school?
The principal, Jody Burnside, very experienced. She's an American. At least, I would say at least 12 or 14, maybe more of the teachers are Americans. But they come from other countries as well, which makes it an international school. So international schools have their own standards and curriculum, but they also teach many of the courses that are required for Turkmenistan. You know, the sports complex here is really just state-of-the-art. Tennis court, jogging, football. It's just a beautiful campus.
Sir, you have been representing interests of United States in Turkmenistan for over 2 years.
That's correct. Already. June of 2019 I arrived. Yeah. Very proud of that.
Yes. What have you achieved during this time as a diplomat here?
I have looked back at my 2-year mark on what to me are remarkable improvements in our bilateral relationship overall, with some concrete examples which I can give you. Programs and accomplishments that I can't take credit for myself, but I'm proud to be part of a team of Americans as well as Turkmen citizens who have, I think, made this country and the United States of America grow closer together. I guess I would start by talking about the overall bilateral relationship. And as I am proud of saying, and as I like to repeat, the guiding principle of the United States of America's interests in Turkmenistan are very simple. We are here because we believe in and support Turkmenistan's sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity. It's that simple. And I believe that having a robust presence here, an embassy staff that can engage in economic and commercial interests, in cultural interests, and educational interests that benefit our two countries, in the security realm to offer our assistance where it's welcome and needed, and to see the economic power of Turkmenistan unleashed with American know-how and American technology and American companies. Those things are intangibles. But some specific examples really that I'm most proud of are, first of all, in our cultural area. We just celebrated this week through a conference of 20 years of the Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation and 30 years of Turkmenistan's independence, the grant of a 29th project of cultural preservation that will be for the Nazarhuda Mausoleum, which we will, together with Turkmen, preserve and improve. And it is one of many cultural heritage sites on the Silk Road, to include some projects here at the National Museum, where we have preserved artifacts and manuscripts that really are treasures for the world, part of the Turkmen culture and heritage that we honor and want to celebrate. Commercially and in economic interests, some of the most visible companies in Turkmenistan are American companies. John Deere, Boeing Aircraft, General Electric turbines that power the gas turbines that create energy not only for Turkmenistan, but for Turkmenistan to export to neighboring countries. Case New Holland, farm equipment, Caterpillar equipment, Visa, the credit card that so many people around the world carry, all have a presence or an interest here. And I'm very proud that I have been able to help to open doors to American businesses who want to do business here. I think in terms of the political, geopolitical realm, this has been a very important year in Central Asia. We have seen a transformation to our south in Afghanistan. It's very concerning right now because there is not a permanent government. There is not the kind of stability that America would like to see in South and Central Asia because of the change, rapid change in Afghanistan. We want to work with Turkmenistan to avert a humanitarian crisis there. I think we can do that if all the countries of Central Asia and other countries, to include the United States, work at that. But I'm proud to be part of a team that is invested in seeing that happen. We have also have been part of the efforts that we have seen the government of Turkmenistan take to grow closer with its regional partners, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, as part of the Central Asian C5 countries, as we call it. The United States has had a C5+1 platform, the +1 being the United States of America, where we have tried to foster economic and political ties with the Central Asian countries. And Turkmenistan, to its great credit, has been a leader in many spheres of interest for the countries. Most impressively, this past summer, where President Berdimuhamedov hosted the other heads of state right here in Turkmenistan at Avazah for a C5 summit. It was a remarkable achievement for Turkmenistan, and I will help where I can as a diplomat, and the United States is very proud of being a small part of seeing this regional sphere of interests, economic, geopolitical, grow and strengthen.
So what are the plans of United States in Central Asian region for the near future? Political, economical?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, exactly. You know what amazes me is that when people talk to me about the future economic growth of Central Asia, they always look behind my shoulder because there's a map of the region. And it's difficult to talk about this part of the world without looking at a map because it's remarkable. It is so much of a cliche to say this is the crossroads of the world, the Silk Road, but it's so true. Europe, Asia tied together in this region. And when I think about unleashing the potential for increased flow of goods and services across borders, not only amongst the 5 Central Asian countries, but then across the Caspian, leading to Europe, and tying South Asia, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan to Central Asia, all of that leads to one country, and that's Turkmenistan, which makes me very proud to be the United States ambassador to this country as I think about my colleagues back in Washington. Where would you rather be than in the center of the world? And I feel so often that I'm in the center of the world.
I know that you are every day doing exercises.
Oh, yes. You've been seeing me run in the mornings around Ashgabat.
Not me, but my cameraman, our director of photography, Nazar, have seen you a few days ago in the park, in Independence Park. Yes.
Well, you have to be up early in the morning to catch me because I wake up early and I go running. And
at what time do you wake up usually?
5:15.
Every day? Every
yes.
single lift, 5:15? Wow.
It's the best time of day. It's cooler, of course, but it's quiet. And to see the sunrise over Ashgabat, which comes up right over here, when the sun's hitting, the rays are hitting the Kobit Dagh, it's nothing like it on Earth, really. It is a spectacular sunrise here in Ashgabat.
Are you exercising alone or Miss Edie with you?
In the evenings, I take a walk with my wife, Edie. In the mornings, it's my time alone. That's when I think I get rejuvenated. Some of my best ideas and thoughts come when I'm running. And all day long, I'm with people. When I'm running, I'm within myself, not only alone, but all my thinking is focused in my center, and that's where I get my inspiration. That's where I get rejuvenated.
So, are you just jogging in the morning, or
I'm a serious
some
runner.
hard stuff like sit-ups, push-ups?
Oh yes, the older you get, the more exercise you need. But I'm an old soldier, so I have good habits. So push-ups, curls, crunchies for the stomach, sit-ups. And it's easy. You don't need a big gym to do these things. You could do them on your own.
You need only your body.
That's right.
Yes. And how many push-ups do you do in one exercise?
If I could do, when I was younger, I could tell you I could easily do 100 push-ups. But now, I usually try to do sets. So 35. And then 25, and then 20.
Let's get back to Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan is, as you mentioned, independent Turkmenistan is 30 years old this year. In your opinion, what are, let's say, 3 main achievements of our country during this past 3 decades?
One is going through that transition, which was very sudden in 1991, which was very unexpected, and finding its own path of positive neutrality. A remarkable concept, which sounds simplistic, but those of us who work in Turkmenistan from other countries realize there is great nuance, and there is a difference between being a neutral country and being, as you in Turkmenistan like to say, a country that has a policy of positive neutrality. To me, that means you're not just neutral and you go about your business. Positive neutrality to me means you want to be engaged. You want to be a leader in many spheres of influence. And that to me is one of the things that distinguishes Turkmenistan from its neighbors. So to summarize, the first great achievement was just finding its own path of positive neutrality. The second achievement that I would point to is its economic stability. This is, I believe, the 4th largest source of natural gas in the world. Turkmenistan has husbanded that and has developed it in a way that has benefited the people of Turkmenistan. I think there's so much more potential that can be unleashed in that realm. But it has put Turkmenistan on solid footing. It has allowed it to stand on its own 2 feet, to be an important trading partner regionally. And then with that base of capital to expand into other areas of economic growth. And I think right now Turkmenistan has big decisions to make in that regard. How to fully develop its energy resources in the context of environmental and climate concerns. But it's poised to go into new directions thanks to good decisions in the past 30 years. The third area that I would point to is cultural. This is such a remarkable treasure trove when I look at the ambassadors' funds for cultural preservation that we have been able to work with Turkmenistan to develop so many beautiful sites in every vilayat of Turkmenistan, from Dehestan to Kunardench to Merv to Shah Islam, very close to here. So many of these sites could be lost and buried in the sands, but Turkmenistan has made a wise investment to preserve them, to slowly develop them, to recognize their potential for tourism. But it's beyond just the sites of ancient Seljuk or Turkmen history. It's the culture of the people, the music, the values of Turkmen people, the family ties, the communal value that Turkmen people cling to. It engenders deep respect for someone like an American who sees the value in keeping these traditions alive. And I think that Turkmenistan has very, very carefully husbanded and ensured that those cultural treasures, those intangibles of art, music, family, this sense of community has not been lost, nor do I see it in danger of being lost. It's remarkable to me.
Talking about bilateral relations between our countries, US and Turkmenistan, if we get back to early 90s when Turkmenistan get its independence, how our bilateral relations progressed between US and Turkmenistan during last 30 years of independence?
Well, the United States is, I think, was one of the first 3 countries to recognize Turkmenistan. I'm very proud of that. And we've had a diplomatic presence for all these years because we're invested not in the region alone, we're invested in each country in the region. And each country is different. And we have seen ups and downs in our bilateral relationship. And it has grown over time. But the arc, even when there are some times when there's not harmony or agreement on particular issues, the arc and trend is always been in an upward direction, improving relationships. One of the things I am proud of as a diplomat is that I can have a conversation with anyone from His Excellency the President to the Foreign Minister, and I feel free to raise any issue that I wish, and I know that I will be heard with respect. Now, I have to earn that. I have to show respect when we have these conversations myself. But since my arrival in June of 2019, I have felt free to raise sensitive issues, issues that I know our 2 countries disagree on, and I know that we will have a respectful conversation. And to me, that is the mark and the sign of a mature country, a country that's confident in itself, that knows that there will be disagreements, but they believe in their own policies and are open and listening to the views of others.
Let us talk about plans of United States in Turkmenistan in near future.
One of the things I'm excited about is we have a very active United States Turkmenistan Business Council. It's based in Washington. Many of the companies that are members are names that you're familiar with, John Deere, Boeing, Visa, but there are other companies that very few people know the names of. Rapiscan, S2, Westpart, Westport Trading, they are companies that see the value of doing business here, have the resources to come here and far from the American shores and engage with business people here. I think for the near future, seeing this kind of commercial trade and investment and discussions about where American companies can bring their technology and know-how to bear to the mutual benefit of our two countries, that's very important. And American companies must understand the business atmosphere, which is very different than in America. But the companies that have succeeded here have found a way to do that. And the United States Embassy is here to help open those doors. Equally, I want to see Turkmenistan's business people, to include young entrepreneurs, look to the United States for technology, for ideas, for investment, for selling their goods. We have a huge market, and the United States is known for embracing cutting-edge technology. I see so much potential here. And it goes back to what, I don't know if this translates well into Turkmen, but human capital. And the human capital in this country is remarkable, especially in the field of technology. I am so impressed with the young entrepreneurs who are opening businesses using ITC, information technology and communications, to grow a business and to find a niche, if you will, a place where their business is unique. That's the way Americans think and operate. We have a lot in common in that regard. In commercial and trade and business, and then in technology, I want to mention that the field is wide open when it comes to digitalization. And I think that Turkmenistan is actively looking for ways to raise the ability of the Turkmen citizens to use technology, whether that be in banking or in agriculture, even in the arts in some ways. There is so much happening in this field. The United States is a leader in technology, but we know that Turkmenistan has choices. There are many other leaders in the world who would like to have their technology used in Turkmenistan. And what I say is, look to the United States, see what we have to offer, open your doors. When we have the environment in this global pandemic to travel, come to the United States and see Silicon Valley, see what is happening in the field of technology in the United States. I think that's where we could really make a connection.
Mm-hmm. You were talking about products manufactured in Turkmenistan.
Absolutely.
For example, in your opinion, what products do you think have real potential from Turkmen manufacturers to enter U.S. market, for example?
Well, first of all, food is perishable. Shipping the marvelous fruits and vegetables that I enjoy here, that's not going to happen. Not to the United States. But
because it's so far?
Yes, it's so far. You could freeze things, but really, Turkmenistan has a regional market here, to include up to Moscow, down to India, Pakistan, all the Central Asian countries, across the Caspian to Georgia, Romania, and on to Europe. Where America is looking for ideas and for products would be in the technology field, in sharing some of the things that you're doing in the video arena that I see. To me, I've never seen some of the things in the United States that I see here. Arts and culture have a place, believe it or not. Hollywood is not the only place. Turkmenistan has a lot to offer in that regard as well. I think the exchange programs that we have that bring Americans here and bring Turkmen to the United States for a few weeks, even for a year, opens the eyes of people as to what the potential is. We need to, in my view, keep these exchange programs alive even when travel around the world is so difficult. We could do a lot virtually. We could see each other on a video screen. It's not the same. Americans need to come here and see what this country has to offer. Young Turkmen need to see what the vastness of the United States is like, and to sit in corporate boardrooms and to hear how those discussions and decisions are made for investments, and to bring some of the ideas for technology back to this country.
Okay. Most of my questions are over now. I would like to ask you, maybe you would like to wish something to people of Turkmenistan for upcoming Independence Day. Yes.
I like to say never, never, never miss an opportunity to celebrate a significant achievement. 30 years of independence is absolutely a remarkable achievement when you consider the history of this region, but it is a natural thing when you consider Turkmen culture and how unique it is. So to the people of Turkmenistan, I say this 30-year anniversary is something you should embrace, to appreciate the history of culture and heritage that Americans just are in awe of and respect so much, but take this opportunity to look to the future. And I tell you this, America will be here for another 30 years and another 30 years beyond that. That's our commitment. And we do that with respect, not to exploit resources, not to come here in a way in a belligerent way, but in a way of mutual respect. And this anniversary is a true milestone, a remarkable achievement. So I look forward to opening that embassy and knowing it will be here for the 50th anniversary and for the 75th anniversary of independence for Turkmenistan. It'll be a great thing.
Yeah, we say inshallah.
Inshallah.
We have left 10 more personal questions.
Please.
We call them blitz questions.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The questions are short, but you can answer not short.
Sure.
As you like.
Yes, yes.
The first one, who is Matthew Klimow in one sentence?
Oh. Diplomat.
You can take a long one, no problem.
I'm a patriot. I'm an American. So proud of my country, but so proud to represent the United States of America here in Turkmenistan.
Okay, thank you. What achievement are you most proud of?
My family.
In whole life?
I have been through a lot of hardship, a lot of challenges. I've seen a lot of heartache, and I've had a family, a son and a wife who have stood by me in everything I've ever done. It's just keeps you so tight and so close. Remarkable.
That's your main achievement. Okay. What event in your life have divided it into before and after?
Very simple. I'm a survivor of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. I was in the Pentagon when the plane hit and exploded, and I was the executive assistant to our chief of defense at the time, General Myers, and I spent the entire day in the Pentagon in a smoke-filled room. At one point we ran out of oxygen, and we thought we would have to abandon the Pentagon. but we stayed, and we stayed until midnight. And at midnight on the occasion of 11 September 2001, everything changed. Everything before then was different than everything after. And not in a bad way, because when I went home that night, we decided we would renew our commitment as Americans to building a strong America that was committed to doing the right things in the future. And we were going back to work, not as a defeated nation, but as a nation that was ready to find justice, which we did, and to continue to be a leader in the world.
Thank you. Doğrama or burger?
Burger.
Coca-Cola or camel chow?
Oh, do you mean chai?
Chow. You know
Chow?
chow?
No.
Like they make from camel's
yeah,
milk.
Yeah.
White
Oh,
one.
yeah. Coca-Cola, please.
Have you tested camel?
Yes,
No?
yes.
Or
In the desert.
you don't like it?
It's very strong.
Okay. Why did you choose a military and diplomatic career?
Yeah, probably for all the wrong reasons. When I was a young man, I thought it would be a great challenge and exciting, and I would see the world and all the things that young men often dream about that have romantic connotations. But thankfully, I grew up and matured and found the right reasons, serving other people, serving my country, helping other people reach their potential.
Mm-hmm. What would you like to become if not a military man or a diplomat?
I wanted to be a journalist like you.
Oh.
It's very true.
What would you spend $1 million if you won them today in lottery?
I would spend it here in Turkmenistan.
For what?
People would open their doors and find little gifts at their doors because the people of Turkmenistan have opened their doors to me. And I cannot possibly repay their generosity and their hospitality. And I would retrace my steps to everybody who offered me tea, offered me lunch, offered me breakfast, offered me dinner, offered me warm conversation. That's what I would spend my money on, is just saying thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
So you are not the man that who is dreaming about a sport car, a villa on the seaside, no?
I'm too old for that.
Okay. What are you most afraid of?
My vitality is still there. I wake up every morning at 5:15. I do exercises. I go running. I don't want to lose that vitality. That is what prepares me for my day. That's what clears my mind. That's what re-energizes my soul. As long as I have my health and my energy and my vitality, I can survive anything. I don't want to lose it.
Mm-hmm. And the last one, what is power?
Power is grace and humility and confidence, and the ability to put those things together and inspire people so you can lead them and they will follow willingly. That's real power.
Thank you. Great answer. Thanks a lot.
Azat,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you for your time.
All right.
That was
Bravo. Good questions.